Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at some research that you sent over about websites for small businesses.
Yeah.
And we're going to dig into what they do beyond just, being online. Like, what's the point?
Right. I think it's easy to kind of dismiss having a website as like one more thing,
Yeah.
But this research really shows how they're a powerful tool for growth. Like, it's not just a box you need to check.
Okay, so like say you're a small business owner and you're thinking, do I really need a website? Like, isn't Facebook enough?
Right.
This research says yes.
Definitely. And one of the first things they highlight is credibility.
Uh-huh.
That first impression you make.
Right.
That can really decide whether or not a potential customer is going to do business with you.
Yeah, and they had this stat that I thought was so interesting. It said that 75% of consumers judge a business's credibility based on its website design.
Wow.
I know. So, like, think about it. How often do you check out a company's website before you decide whether to trust them?
Oh, all the time. Me too. All the time.
Yeah, it's like their modern day storefront.
Right.
If a business doesn't have a website or if it looks super outdated,
Right.
It's a red flag for a lot of people.
It's like showing up to a meeting with a client.
Yeah.
In sweatpants.
Exactly.
You gotta put your best foot forward.
Exactly. And another thing that really stood out to me in this research was how a website can expand your reach.
Okay.
They had this great example. It says artisan cheese producer in Wisconsin, rural creamery. After they launched their e-commerce site, their sales just skyrocketed, like 150% increase.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But what was it about the website that made the difference? Was it just that they were online, or was there something more?
That's where it gets really interesting. So it wasn't just about being online at all.
Okay.
They were really good at showcasing their product and telling their brand story in a way that connected with people outside their local area.
Okay.
So, like, they had access to all these new cheese lovers across the country who might never have found them otherwise. Yeah. It's not just about having a website. It's about having a website that's, like, strategically planned.
Right.
To reach those people.
Yeah. And it has to be well designed.
Exactly.
And they made it super easy for people to buy their cheese online.
Right.
Which brings us to another important point. Convenience.
Oh, convenience. That's like my love language.
Yeah.
More than half of consumers say they would rather book appointments or buy things online than have to call or go somewhere in person.
I'm one of those people for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love online shopping. It's so convenient. Like, fits right into my life.
Exactly. Do you remember Glow Salon? The one that added the online booking to their site?
Uh-huh.
Appointments went way up after that.
Well, yeah, because who wants to play phone tag when you can just book online whenever you want?
Yeah.
I bet that saved the salon so much time, too.
Yeah, it really streamlined everything for them. It reduced errors.
Okay.
And their staff had more time to focus on other tasks.
So it's a perfect example of how a website can actually boost efficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked about credibility, reach, and convenience. Anything else this research highlights?
Well, this is where things get super interesting. Websites aren't just transactional.
Okay.
They can help you build a whole community around your brand.
Oh, tell me more.
Okay, so they talk about Alpaca Direct, this little yarn store in rural Idaho.
Okay.
And you wouldn't think a yarn store in Idaho would have a global reach.
Right.
But through their website, they built a thriving online community.
Wow, that's amazing. How did they do that?
So it was way more than just selling yarn online.
Okay.
They created this space where knitting enthusiasts could connect, share their projects, learn from each other, and feel like they were part of something bigger.
So it's like they created a whole experience.
Exactly.
A sense of belonging.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
Yeah. And it made people really loyal to the brand, so it was like they turned customers into passionate advocates for their business.
So it makes you wonder, what could a website like that look like for other types of businesses? Like, what if you're a restaurant or a consultant or...
Well, that's a great question, and it leads us to a really important point that we need to talk about. This research talks about how a website can actually help smaller businesses, like, level the playing field and compete with the big guys.
It's like David and Goliath, but with a website.
Yeah, exactly.
But how does that actually work?
Okay, so like in the past, big companies had a huge advantage when it came to like reach and advertising and all of that. But now with the internet, even a tiny business with a good website can reach people all over the world.
And it's not just about being seen either.
Right.
You can also use your website to offer the kind of customer service and convenience that rivals those big companies.
Exactly. Think about things like 24/7 customer support,
Right.
maybe through a chatbot,
Yeah.
or online booking, or even like personalized recommendations based on what a customer has bought before.
Right. Like all those things that used to cost a fortune.
Exactly. But now any small business can do it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And one thing that really stuck with me from the research was that 81% of retail shoppers research a business online before they buy anything.
Wow, that's huge.
I know. So if your business isn't showing up online, you're missing out on a lot of potential customers.
You really are. And even if someone hears about you through word of mouth or sees you on social media,
Yeah.
that first impression is still going to be your website.
Yeah. It's like they said 75% of people judge a business by how its website looks.
Exactly.
So if your website looks like it's from 1999,
yeah,
it's not going to make a good impression.
it's like showing up to a job interview in sweatpants.
Right. You got to look sharp.
Exactly.
But I think sometimes people get intimidated by the whole website thing.
I get
Like
it.
they think, oh, it's going to be so technical or it's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't have to be that way, does it?
Not at all. There are so many user-friendly platforms now where you can build a beautiful, functional website, even if you're not a tech person at all.
That's great. Okay, so let's say you've got this amazing website all set up.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that people are actually finding it?
Good question. So the research talked about something called SEO.
SEO. What is that?
SEO stands for search engine optimization.
Okay.
And it's basically making sure your website pops up when people search for things you offer.
So like if you have a bakery in Chicago,
Yeah.
you want your website to come up when someone searches best bakeries in Chicago.
Exactly. And there's a bunch of stuff that goes into SEO.
Okay.
Like the words you use on your website and how your website is structured.
So keywords. I hear that word a lot. What else should businesses be thinking about?
So backlinks are a big one.
Backlinks. What are those?
Backlinks are links from other websites to yours.
Yeah.
And they tell search engines that your website is trustworthy.
So it's like a vote of confidence from other websites.
Exactly. And then there's local SEO, which is important if you have an actual storefront. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure your website shows up when people are searching in your area.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like this whole multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Content, backlinks, local SEO, all working together to help your website rank higher.
Exactly.
And then once you actually get people to your site, you want to keep them engaged and encourage them to take action.
Exactly. That's where content marketing comes in.
Okay, so what is content marketing?
So basically, it's about creating valuable content that your customers will be interested in.
Okay.
So instead of just yelling about how awesome your products are, you're giving people helpful information, entertaining stories,
Wow.
things that will draw people to your site and make them want to stay.
So you're like a resource for them.
Exactly. So let's say you own a gardening center.
Okay.
Instead of just listing all the plants you sell, you could have blog posts about garden tips or videos showing different planting techniques.
I like that.
Or maybe a free downloadable guide on designing a dream garden.
That's great.
So people searching for gardening stuff online might find you, and since you're giving them something valuable,
Right.
they'll start to trust you.
And then once they're on your website, you can kind of guide them towards your products.
Exactly. Like maybe at the end of your blog post, you have a button that says shop our organic gardening supplies.
Oh, so smart.
It's all about building a relationship with your customers before they even set foot in your store.
Love it. Okay, we can't talk about websites without talking about e-commerce.
Oh yeah, e-commerce is huge.
I feel like that's a total game changer for small businesses.
It is. It lets you sell your stuff online 24/7 to
Yeah.
people all over the world.
It's like having a store that never closes.
Exactly. And even if you do have a physical store,
Yeah.
adding e-commerce to your website can really boost your sales.
Think about it. Someone across the country or even across the world could be on your website right now, buying your stuff.
It's amazing.
It really is. And this research had some really cool stories about small businesses that used e-commerce successfully.
Oh yeah, like Rural Creamery.
Yeah.
They went from being this local cheesemaker to a national brand practically overnight.
And their sales increased by what?
150% just from adding online store.
Crazy.
And then there was this artisan collective in Iowa called Crafted in the Cornfields.
Uh-huh.
Their sales doubled in 6 months after they launched their online marketplace.
Wow. So it's not just for big companies.
Nope.
any small business can use e-commerce to grow their business.
Exactly.
But I think sometimes people think it's like way too complicated.
Yeah.
Or expensive.
I know.
To set up an online store.
It can seem that way. But honestly, there are so many platforms now that make it really easy.
Okay.
You don't have to be a tech expert or anything.
So you don't need to know how to code.
No, not at all. What are some things people should think about if they're choosing an e-commerce platform?
Well, I think ease of use would be a big one.
Definitely.
We want something that's easy to figure out.
Yeah, so you can manage your products, orders, customer info without, tearing your hair out.
Exactly. What else?
Cost is a big one. You know, there are platforms for every budget. And you'll also want to think about the features and integrations that are important to your business.
Like payment processing.
Yeah.
Shipping options. Email marketing.
Exactly. And of course, you want to think about how it looks,
Dude, gotta look good.
Your online store should reflect your brand.
Right.
And create a smooth shopping experience for your customers.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your store set up. How do you actually get people to come to it?
That's where digital marketing comes in.
Okay.
Think things like social media marketing, email campaigns, maybe even some online advertising.
So it's like you're creating this whole system for your business online.
Yeah, exactly. Website, e-commerce, content marketing, SEO, social media.
It all works together.
It does. And the best part is all of it can be tracked and measured.
So you can actually see what's working.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see which products are selling well, where your customers are coming from, what's leading to sales.
It's like having your own personal market research team.
Exactly. And that data can help you improve your marketing, your website design, even develop new products.
It's like this amazing cycle of improvement.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
Credibility, expanding your reach, attracting customers, selling online. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Oh, yes. One more crucial thing. Automation.
Okay, automation. That's like music to a busy business owner's ears.
Right.
So tell me, how can a website help with automation?
Well, think about all those things you do every day as a business owner, like scheduling appointments, answering emails, managing your inventory, sending invoices.
Ugh, yeah, so much.
A lot of those things you can actually automate.
Really?
If you have the right tools and integrations on your website.
So it's like having a little virtual assistant.
Exactly. And this research had some interesting examples. Like there was this marketing agency in Italy.
Okay.
They saw a 40% increase in lead conversion just from adding a chatbot to their website.
40% just from a chatbot.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But do people actually like chatbots? I always feel like talking to a robot is kind of impersonal.
I get it. But think about it from the customer side.
Okay.
Sometimes you just want a quick answer to a simple question.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to wait on hold or search through a website to find it.
Right.
A chatbot can give you that instant answer you're looking for.
That's true. And I guess as long as the chatbot is designed well and gives you accurate information, it can be a really good experience.
Exactly. And the great thing about chatbots is that they can handle a ton of inquiries at the same time.
Oh.
So then your human employees are free to focus on those more complex tasks.
Yeah, or provide more personalized service to those customers who need that extra attention.
Exactly. And you can even use automation for things that aren't customer facing.
Okay.
Like scheduling your employees, onboarding new hires, even training.
That's smart.
Yeah.
The research mentioned this IT company.
Yeah.
That set up a self-service portal on their website.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I know. So clients could access their account information, download software updates, and even submit support tickets all on their own.
That's amazing. It lets the customer help themselves, which then frees up your employees to work on other stuff.
It's a win-win.
Totally. The customer gets what they need quickly and easily.
Yeah.
And the business saves time and resources.
And the coolest part is that the possibilities are kind of endless because technology is always changing and improving.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. Oh, okay. So we've covered a lot about the benefits of having a website for small businesses. Building credibility, expanding your reach, attracting customers, selling products online, and automating tasks.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
I think we hit the main points, but we do need to remember that a website is not some magic solution.
Right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, you got to use it the right way to get those results you're looking for.
So it's not just about having a website, it's about having a good website.
Yes. A well-designed website that you maintain.
Right.
And that fits with your business goals.
Exactly. And it's about learning and adapting.
Oh, definitely.
Because the online world is always changing.
All the time.
So you got to stay on top of things.
Yes.
You can't just set it and forget it.
No, you got to be checking your website, looking at your data, making tweaks here and there.
And the research was really big on the data part.
Oh, yeah.
Your website can give you a ton of information about your customers.
So much information. You can see what pages they're visiting, what they're searching for.
Right. What they're buying.
Yeah.
Where they're coming from.
It's like you can see what they're thinking.
Exactly. And you can use all of that to make your marketing better, improve your website design, even come up with new products.
So it's like having that built-in market research team we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And a lot of this data is free.
Really?
Through tools like Google Analytics.
No excuses then.
Right.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one big takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
If you're a small business owner, you need a website. It's not really optional anymore. It's essential for being successful in today's world. But it's not enough to just have a website. You've got to use it strategically to reach your goals.
It's like that superhero origin story.
Yeah.
Where an ordinary small business owner discovers the amazing power of a website.
I love it. And the best part? Anyone can do it. Doesn't matter how big or small your business is, what industry you're in. There are tools and resources out there to help you use the power of the internet to see amazing results.
So to our listener out there, if you're not using your website to its full potential,
yeah, what are you waiting for?
That's a great question.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or you don't know where to start, there are so many resources available. Website builders, online marketing guides, SEO experts, even whole communities dedicated to helping small businesses succeed online. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's such great advice. Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little inspiring.
Yeah.
Keep exploring the world of online business and all the awesome ways a website can help you make those dreams a reality.
Until next time.